Tell me how, I got nothing to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. Don't tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
Oh my goodness! What a Friday! Ladies and gentlemen, what a Friday it's been. We got Alter Bridge releasing what's probably going to be the best rock album of the year, no doubt about it. Absolute fucking masterpiece. And Drew McIntyre is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Oh my goodness, man. Now the question is, does he hold it till WrestleMania? That's what I'm afraid of. What else happened to that? Jordynne Grace made her in-ring debut for WWE. Trick Williams made his in-ring debut for SmackDown. WWE title's going to be on the line at the Royal Rumble. Nick Aldis laid the groundwork for that. And Guilia defended the United States title against Alexa Bliss. And we got Carmelo. Can't forget about Melo in that U.S. Open Challenge. SmackDown was all right, but Drew! We got a new champion, man. We're going to talk about it. It is Friday night, and we're going to the venue inside my mother's basement. And on this Friday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me here on this Friday night. It is your SmackDown post show for January 9th, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Friday evenings, wherever you may be. SmackDown tonight in Berlin, Germany. Eastern time, it's 9:44 p.m. SmackDown is still on the air. It's either I go live immediately after the show is over and have no audience, or go live and an hour and a half before the show ends and have somewhat of a decent audience and maybe still catch you guys when the show is over. These international shows that air at 2 p.m. and on tape delay, they really are confusing to me because I don't know which strategy is best. I don't know when to cater to you guys and make it the best that it could be. But tonight's show is on tape delay. It is now airing on USA Network here on the East Coast. I watched the show at 2 p.m. via my Solid Monster Express VPN. Thank you, Jason. I watched this afternoon on VPN. All in all, I thought SmackDown was worse than last week. I wouldn't say I was excited last week. I was hopeful. I was interested to see how WWE would navigate going from 2 to 3 hours again, just like they did last year. But I enjoyed last week's SmackDown. I thought it was a very polished, and focused effort last Friday. This Friday, it wasn't as exciting as it was last week. I thought the majority of the show was actually pretty dull. I thought it was unexciting. Nothing really major happened. But I will say I very much appreciate and I genuinely hope that WWE, if they're in a situation like they are in tonight with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, and it is one of those matches that is going to be long and drawn out, and as big as it was tonight with the 3 stages of hell, I hope that they do the same thing that they did tonight and really focus on the wrestling, focus on the importance of the match, and focus on the story. The entire last hour was commercial-free for Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. I very much appreciate that. That's the way it should be. WWE and their advertisements have gotten so out of hand that this match would have probably seen 6 or 7 commercial breaks if they didn't do the commercial-free last hour. So I very much appreciate that. The show was pretty dull. Trick Williams got into it with Randy Orton. They are going to be meeting very, very soon with a WWE Championship opportunity on the line. I'll get into all of that a little bit later. There will be 2 of the 8 participants vying for a fatal 4-way that will take place at Saturday night's main event. And the winner of this fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event will go on to wrestle for the WWE Championship, now against Drew McIntyre, at the Royal Rumble just a week later. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Nick Aldis laid the groundwork for all of this situation and gave us the 8 competitors that will be competing in this little mini tournament-esque situation. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes had a great main event. This was the best effort that they put forth in all of their feuds so far. This was the best match that they gave us since they started feuding coming out of SummerSlam. It's exactly what Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes have been doing. They've been feuding for 6 or 7 months now. Drew McIntyre laid the groundwork for the 3 stages of hell. It was a regular wrestling match, a falls count anywhere match, and then if it went to a third fall, which we all knew it would be a steel cage match. Drew McIntyre ended up winning the WWE Championship. I'm surprised that Sesame Street Levesque made the decision to go with Drew McIntyre tonight. If he didn't, I would have had a lot of questions. If he didn't, Drew McIntyre probably would have ended up a bigger loser than he is on television. And we can't risk Drew McIntyre being that big of a loser because he's one of the best guys that they got. This was a must-win situation for Drew McIntyre, no matter what the creative direction was going to be. He needed to win this match. I know there was a report that went out, whether it was earlier today or I think yesterday, I seen it floating around, that there are some top officials in the company lobbying for Drew McIntyre to win the WWE Championship on Friday Night SmackDown in the 3 stages of hell match with Cody Rhodes. I'm glad that they actually came to that decision. It needed to happen. This idea of the babyface champion, or any champion for that matter, needing to hold the championship for X amount of days. Cody Rhodes won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania last year. He lost it to John Cena. He won it back at SummerSlam. We didn't need Cody holding the WWE Championship going into yet another WrestleMania. It's boring. It's safe. It's just a very uncreative narrative. Fuck shit up. Let's get some change. Let's take some risks. Let's be adventurous. Let's do something that's going to, I don't know, elicit some unpredictability or excitement. The idea of someone like Cody holding the championship because he's Cody Rhodes and he's the babyface, he needs to hold the championship going into WrestleMania. I never understood that. Now, WWE could put the title right back on Cody Rhodes in just as little as 3 weeks. We don't fucking know what they're going to do. For all we know, the way that they've operated, that's probably what is going to happen. I hope not. But I'm glad that Drew McIntyre is the recipient of a World Championship title reign. If it's transitional and if it's just 2 or 3 weeks, the guy deserves it. And he's very much earned it. The way that he won the match, I see some people unhappy about. Jacob Fatu returned to the company tonight. He showed up in the last stages of the match. He came out wearing a face mask and a hoodie. Everybody who was watching the show this afternoon knew exactly who it was. There was a report going around from Fightful that Jacob Fatu was even backstage with the WWE roster, and he made the trip overseas to Germany. The whole thing about who attacked Jacob Fatu, who took Jacob Fatu out, WWE is clearly going to play off of that. And hopefully we get some sort of story surrounding that, because it's going to add a lot of intrigue on top of what happened tonight. Culprit number one was always going to be Drew McIntyre, just the way he's been acting and just because of the character that he's been playing on television. The other culprit was Randy Orton. Because I think everybody had it in their minds that Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes would probably be on a collision course, maybe, going into WrestleMania. I don't mind the way the match ended. I actually quite like the way the match ended. Now, if you look at it head on, it's typical WWE. They tried their best to protect their babyface champion. They tried their best to protect Cody Rhodes. That's exactly what the priority was. How do we get the belt on Drew, but at the same time protect Cody Rhodes? This is what they came up with. Jacob Fatu shows himself at the end of the match. He presents himself in front of Drew McIntyre. He gets in the cage. He starts attacking Drew McIntyre. So the first reaction from many is, oh, well, there's the guy. There's the guy who attacked Jacob Fatu. Drew McIntyre is the culprit. But then he went to go attack Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes came over and interjected himself in what was going on. If he didn't bother Jacob Fatu might not have laid a hand on Cody Rhodes. But Jacob Fatu is an unpredictable animal. He's a Samoan werewolf. He's an Anawai. So he went in there and he beat both Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. But by the time he got to Cody Rhodes, and by the time his attention was turned to Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre was being beaten up in the corner of the steel door on the cage. And Drew McIntyre did the thing that any human being in that moment would do. If you have an opportunity to win this match and the WWE Championship by just crawling out of the cage through the steel door with both feet hitting the floor, you will be crowned the new WWE Champion. That's exactly what he did. So by the time Jacob Fatu went to go attack Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre already was thinking 2 steps ahead. Well, I'm going to get the fuck out of here, and I'm going to win the championship. He's a slimy heel, and he's a smart heel. I have no problem with the way the match ended, because if you were in Drew McIntyre's boots, you probably would have done the same thing, and if you didn't, I'd sit here and probably say that you were a fucking idiot. It's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. McIntyre's been wanting this championship. He's been wanting to right all the wrongs, and the only way that would have happened is if he had possession of the title. All those wrongs are now erased. So he finally took it upon himself to take the one opportunity that he felt would have gotten him to a point where everything that's happened to him would be erased. With one movement, with one move tonight, he erased all the wrong. I have no problem with that. Now, Drew McIntyre sits as WWE Champion, and I see a lot of people already fantasy booking, me included. But I will say, coming into this week, we had 2 championship matches. One on Raw with Braun Breaker and CM Punk. That was for the World's Heavyweight Championship. And then tonight, 3 Stages of Hell. First time on SmackDown in its history, 3 Stages of Hell. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. WWE was never going to change both of those championships in the same week. As we saw CM Punk retain the World Championship, and Braun Breaker's probably going to enter himself in the Royal Rumble. But if I had to pick one, couldn't have both. Because I know there is a small pocket of people that wanted Braun Breaker to be crowned the new champion. It's not time yet. I want him to be the champion eventually. But I'm not going to lose sleep over Punk winning. But if I had to choose one of the two, McIntyre was always going to be my choice. It's been a long time coming. This was a much more must-win situation for Drew McIntyre than it was for Braun Breaker. Where do we go now? Like I said, the idea that the babyface needs to hold the championship going into WrestleMania because his name is Cody Rhodes, that is something that a lot of unintelligent people are going to run with. I don't like these long title reigns for the sake of having long title reigns. Something needs to happen. If you're watching the show every single week coming out of SummerSlam, I guarantee you are bored with the main event scene on Friday Night SmackDown. After last week, Cody was the champion, and we've already had, since the first SmackDown of the year, Matt Cardona, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, The Miz, Damian Priest, all come out and say that they want a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. So Cody went from nobody but Drew to now 6 or 7 different guys gunning for him at the top. It's the way it should be. It's the way it always should be for the world title. But now Cody's not the world champion. Drew McIntyre is. Nick Aldis, he announced tonight that there will be next week 4 matches. 4 matches taking place on SmackDown next week. Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams. Randy Orton versus The Miz. And Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. The winners of those 4 matches will go into next week, the following week's SmackDown. And they will wrestle, or Saturday night's main event, rather. Saturday night's main event. And there will be a fatal 4-way. And the winner of that fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event will wrestle for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Drew McIntyre as the WWE Champion creates a lot more intrigue going into their biggest story-driven time of the year. Drew McIntyre creates a lot more intrigue going into their most important time of the entire year. More important than any other point in their year. This is it. From January to April. You want the twists and turns. You want the story. You want the unpredictability. That's what we all want as pro wrestling fans. We want to be watching the shows on our toes. Edge of your seat action. Unpredictability. That's what we want. So with Drew McIntyre being the WWE Champion, it creates a lot more intrigue going into the Royal Rumble. Now, looking at these matches next week, with our full winners next week going to Saturday night's main event, I'm looking at Sami Zayn beating Ilya Dragunov for the reason of, well, Dragunov beat Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. He wanted to do right by Dragunov, who was just coming back after an 18-month layoff injured. Sami Zayn's probably going to get his win back. Sami Zayn's going to Saturday night's main event, in my opinion. Randy Orton versus The Miz, self-explanatory. There's no fucking way on this planet The Miz is beating Randy Orton. Sami Zayn and Randy Orton will qualify. Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. Nobody wants to see Solo Sikoa in that match. Damian Priest just beat Aleister Black. I think Damian Priest is the one that needs momentum. Damian Priest is going to Saturday night's main event. And then Matt Cardona and Trick Williams is a tricky one, no pun intended, because Matt Cardona just came back to WWE after 6 years, and Trick Williams just got called up from NXT, and he's the young guy who everybody is looking at to be the future of the company. I think Trick Williams wins because that's exactly what they're going to use Matt Cardona for. And I think at this stage of the game, you can't really beat Trick Williams. It's easier to give Cardona the loss because he's established. It's easy to give Cardona the loss because he's the bigger star and he'll be fine. You can't beat Trick Williams. I think Trick Williams goes to Saturday night's main event with Damian Priest, with Randy Orton, and with Sami Zayn. And if Trick Williams is in that fatal four-way, he doesn't necessarily have to take the pinfall. So there's no harm, no foul there. And I think it mixes him up with the two guys that he's actually confronted the last 2 weeks, one in Sami Zayn last week and then one in Randy Orton this week. Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams. Just thinking out loud here. Saturday night's main event, fatal four-way. Winner of this match goes to the Royal Rumble to challenge for the WWE title. We all know Sami Zayn's ties and Sami Zayn's popularity to Saudi Arabia. Every time WWE has a Saudi show, Sami Zayn is on in some way, shape, or form. Sami Zayn's one of the biggest stars that goes over there and is received incredibly well, more than anybody else on that active roster in Saudi Arabia. But Sami Zayn now, it's been more than a week. It's been basically since the summer. He's made hopes and aspirations of becoming the WWE Champion. This is something that he has been saying every single time he's got a microphone in his hand. Sami Zayn wants to be WWE Champion. All these guys in this match want to be the WWE Champion, but Sami's been saying it longer. He's been making it known longer that he wants the WWE Championship. I think Sami Zayn wins this fatal four-way, and I think Sami Zayn challenges Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship would be a great undercard match for the Royal Rumble. And it gets Sami in a major program or major match going into Saudi Arabia where he is going to be heavily over with the audience. Now, WWE could wipe all of what I said away if they grant Cody Rhodes a WWE Championship match against Drew McIntyre, being that he was fucked over tonight. They could easily grant Cody Rhodes a rematch at Saturday night's main event. And everything I just mentioned with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre could be automatically erased, gone like a puff of smoke. Everything I'm about to mention could be wiped away if WWE goes and does the one thing that I don't think that they should do, and that is Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre in a rematch at Saturday night's main event. I hope that's not the case. So for storyline purposes and for fantasy booking purposes, because the cynic in me wants to see story, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. The reason why I like this is because a Cody Rhodes, who is not the WWE Champion, makes the Royal Rumble that much more prestigious. A Cody Rhodes not holding the WWE Championship makes the Royal Rumble match that much more unpredictable. Every single year we talk about the Royal Rumble on this platform. Every time I have a microphone in front of me during this time of the year, the one thing that I always reiterate every single year around Rumble time is the more unpredictable the Royal Rumble, the better the Royal Rumble will be. You have 30 men in that Royal Rumble. There should be at least 10 guys in that Royal Rumble that have a legit shot of standing there at the end, winning the Royal Rumble. You add Cody Rhodes to the mix of talent that's going to be in that Royal Rumble, that makes it that much more unpredictable. I don't know why they would even contemplate doing a rematch with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre just to put the belt back on Cody Rhodes before we get to the Royal Rumble. To do what? To do what? If Cody Rhodes, say Cody Rhodes wins the WWE Championship back and he goes into the Royal Rumble as WWE Champion, who is he going to wrestle? Is he going to wrestle Randy Orton? I think Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes should not come about because Randy Orton won a fucking fatal four-way. That has so much history and so much story to give us that match based on the premise of Randy Orton winning a fatal four-way would be absolutely creative malpractice. It almost sounds like and feels like that they're avoiding telling the story. Why would anybody want that? The safer play here is Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre with Sami's ties to Saudi Arabia as a babyface, and it plays off the fact that he's already been crying to everybody that he wants a WWE title. And in this case, it would be against the one guy he's never beaten. One guy he has a lot of history with. It's the safe match. While the more important match, the Royal Rumble, has Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Alba Fyre, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker, Gunther, AJ Styles, and anybody else that you want to put as a major name in there. LA Knight. There's 8 right there. There's 8 right there. Randy Orton, 9. Don't you think Cody Rhodes in the Rumble creates so much more of an unpredictable narrative than if he was in the WWE Championship match? Going into the Rumble, it was either Braun Breaker or Roman Reigns. Now, Cody Rhodes fucks all that up. So why would you fuck that up? I don't understand why anybody is looking at this and not liking the decision to take the belt off Cody Rhodes and to keep it on Drew McIntyre. I don't know. Jericho's going to be in the Rumble. Bronson Reed's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Logan Paul's going to be in the Royal Rumble. This is going to be a stacked Royal Rumble. I like this move. I like this decision. I don't know why anybody's looking at this as a bad thing. Is Drew going to be a transitional champion? Time will tell. I think the answer is probably leaning more towards yes. But all the dirt sheet writers and all the wannabe journalists in the IWC I saw today continue to post pictures or GIFs on social media with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. A lot of them said after tonight's outcome that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is still the plan for WrestleMania. Now, I don't know how we're going to get there if that's the case, or why we need a third match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. It almost feels like WWE is trying to live off their past glory. Yes, let's put our 2 biggest guys in a marquee match. That'll really sell some tickets. We've already seen it twice, with WrestleMania 40 being the end. Why do we need to see it again, especially if there's no title on the line? I genuinely wonder if WWE is going to give Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I don't think that's the case at all. But that was a match that I was pitching for last year. That was a match I was actually lobbying for to happen last year because it made more sense then. Going back to it now would kind of defeat the purpose of everything. I feel like if they go to do that match at WrestleMania this year, it would be them just doing it because they realized that it was the right thing to do last year, and now they're trying to correct the mistakes that they did last year by not doing the match. Instead, they gave Drew McIntyre Damian Priest. If the idea is for Cody and Roman Reigns, I don't think the title needs to be on the line. If the championship is on the line, then that means Cody Rhodes is going to win the championship back, and he's going to walk into WrestleMania with Roman Reigns either winning the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. That's the only way we're going to get Cody and Roman. To do it without the championship, I don't really care to see it. I don't really care to see it with the championship on the line. But the only way that any of this would make sense is if WWE is truly contemplating turning Cody Rhodes heel. Now, I understand the word heel is a little sensitive to people's ears nowadays after what we got with John Cena around this same time last year. They fucked it up. It made for an incredible moment. It made for the second greatest heel turn in the history of the business. And none of it should have happened. And if it was going to happen, it should have happened at WrestleMania and not at the Elimination Chamber. But now you got Cody and Roman 3. The top priority, if that is your idea, if that is your marquee match, if that's the match you want, the one thing you need to do is give us something different. They cannot, and I quote, have Roman Reigns walk into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion and have Cody Rhodes walk in as the challenger. We've already been there, done that. We did that at 39 and we did that at 40. Why the fuck would we need to see that again at WrestleMania 42 or 41? I don't understand it. Well, why do we need to see that again? 42. What number are we on? 42? I lost count. Why do we need to see that again? That would be WWE being lazy. The only way that this would work this year is if Cody goes into WrestleMania, goes into WrestleMania 42 as the champion with Roman as the challenger. And again, I don't want to mention his name because we all know that he's not going to show up on fucking television. But you know the rumor of Rock and Roman in Saudi at 43 next year. That is going to continue to pick up steam. And I'm sure The Rock is going to have a major money offer to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The only way this works is if you work in The Rock to this story and Cody turns heel. It's the only way it works. A heel Cody versus a babyface Roman. With Roman then battling the final boss whenever they want to decide to do that match. It's the only way it works. Again, the fantasy cynic in me, after watching what transpired tonight, I hope that this is the beginning stages of a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Because Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes got into it tonight. And again, I like the ending. I don't know if they are going to tease us with Cody attacking Jacob Fatu in December, or is it Drew McIntyre who attacked Jacob Fatu? So it leaves that one very much open-ended, and it leaves a lot of intrigue with who attacked Jacob Fatu. Again, the basis of everything here is Drew McIntyre creates unpredictable television. Drew McIntyre gives television a fresh coat of paint. Drew McIntyre, as far as everybody else on the roster who wants a WWE Championship opportunity, a lot of them are babyfaces. With Drew McIntyre as champion, a lot of those babyfaces now have a heel that they could actually chase for the WWE Championship instead of being Cody Rhodes. But I think right now, step one is if WWE doesn't give us Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre in a rematch at Saturday night's main event, just to then give us Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble in a fucking thrown together match at the last minute just because it's a major match, I think that's fucking terrible. I think that's lazy. I think Sammy and Drew is the play. Cody in the Rumble with Roman and Braun Breaker and Gunther and Oba and LA Knight and Chris Jericho and Matt Cardona and everybody else that you deem a major star. Everybody. I think that's the play. WrestleMania, this is what we want. This is what we've asked for. Unpredictability. This one thing right now sets WrestleMania plans to that unpredictable level. Because we don't know if McIntyre is going to walk in or not as WWE Champion. I'm thinking not. I don't think he will. So McIntyre won the WWE Championship tonight. I think that's the right decision. I thought what they produced on television was excellent. It was probably the best match that they've had so far together out of all the series of matches that we got stemming from last year. And I thought it was a great main event. Cody won the second fall. McIntyre won the first. And then McIntyre won the last. So we'll definitely get into how all that happened. We'll talk about Jordynne Grace making her in-ring debut. We'll talk about Trick Williams and Randy Orton. We'll talk about Carmelo Hayes in the United States Open Challenge. All in all, it was a dull SmackDown. I thought Germany was a little quieter than I expected. But I do think that with the outcome of the World Championship match, it leaves a lot of excitement to be had on Friday night. So we'll get into it. Thank you guys very much for joining me here on this earlier than normal Friday Night SmackDown post show. It is 10:16 here on the East Coast. You guys are probably right in the middle of the 3 Stages of Hell match. If you didn't watch it with me via the Netflix stream using ExpressVPN, Monday Night Raw is going to be the same thing on Monday, 2 p.m. start time from Dusseldorf, Germany. So more of the same. I'll probably be live around the same time on Monday. But thank you guys for joining me here on this Friday night. It's a great Friday, man. We got Drew McIntyre winning the WWE Championship, and Alter Bridge released their best album in, I would say, 13 years. Band's been together for over 20 years, and it was truly a landmark album that they released today. I listened to it at midnight. I listened to it in the quiet, taking it all in. Just an absolutely tremendous, tremendous record. And if it's not Rock Album of the Year at the end of the year, you know that there is some bias for sure when it comes to that type of thing. Some of the heaviest, some of the most in sync, some of the most emotional, some of the most compact songs that they've ever written. And as a fan of the band since One Day Remains, their debut album, this is probably their second best album ever. Let me tell you, man, that closing track, if you guys want to go and listen to it, it's on Spotify. You guys can go listen to the album. It's on YouTube. The closing track, Slave to Master, is without question. They will never top Blackbird. Blackbird, the song itself, is one of the most emotional pieces of musical composition that has ever been written. And it holds a sentimental place in my heart forever because I dedicated that song to my grandpa, and every time I listen to it, I think of my grandfather. So that's never going to go anywhere. The song, Slave to Master, is without question their greatest musical composition, musically, ever. The guitar work between Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti, the last 4 minutes of that song, are the greatest piece of music, musically, that they've ever written. It's the best that they've ever been. Showcasing their guitar skills back and forth, the best that they've ever been. Upon first listen, it gave me chills. That's how good it was. There's other great tracks. Power Down is a great track. Rue the Day is a great track. What Are You Waiting For is a great track. Disregarded is a great track. Tested and Able is a great track. Just an unbelievable record, man. I couldn't be more proud. Just a great fucking record. If you guys are into that type of thing, go and listen to it. Just unbelievable. So it was a good Friday. It was a good Friday. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go and check out all the content on the channel. We uploaded a video yesterday with news on Alba Fyre. Apparently, he's going to a brand. We talk about which brand that is on yesterday's video. Go and check that out. We were live on Wednesday for the very boring AEW Dynamite post show. We were live on Tuesday with the Solomons for Tuesday Night Titans, first TNT of the new year. And we were live on Monday So we're rocking and rolling this January. We're going to keep the train going. And tonight we're live for SmackDown. So go check all that stuff out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the title win. Let me know what you think they are going to do creatively with McIntyre as champion or not. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750 likes tonight on the SmackDown Post Show. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout for 10% off your first order of Blue Chew Gold. So go and check that out. Always happy to be sponsored by our great friends over at Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. Let's get into this SmackDown post show. No, I'm going to read this now. Toya with a $2 super chat. Sammy versus Drew at WrestleMania 42, please. No. If Sami Zayn's going to win the WWE Championship, it would probably more likely happen at next year's WrestleMania when WWE is holding WrestleMania in Saudi. Him winning the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble is not what I call paying off his story. I think Sami Zayn winning the Rumble next year and then going to WrestleMania in Saudi for the championship next year is the way. If they want to do it. I don't think him winning the championship at WrestleMania this year against Drew is the play. I think Drew and Jacob Fatu will probably be the match for both of them at WrestleMania. SmackDown. We start things off with Randy Orton. He got one of the loudest reactions from the crowd in Berlin, Germany. They serenaded him with a sing-along of his theme song as usual. What is that, hooligan? A Diet Creed? Bro, Creed holds not a single fucking candle to Alter Bridge. You gotta be kidding me. Creed is like a baby chihuahua. And Alter Bridge is like a menacing Rottweiler, bro. There's not even a single comparison. It's basically, they are Creed minus Scott Stapp, who, in my opinion, is fucking terrible. But they upgraded with Miles Kennedy over 20 years, and they never look back. Please don't compare the two. There is not a single comparison to be made. Completely different bands, completely different music. So the crowd serenaded him. Orton took in the cheers. He got a microphone. He was ready to speak his mind. He says, "It's great to be back in the ring. Welcome to Friday Night SmackDown." Before he could go on, he was interrupted by Whoop That Trick Williams. Williams started to talk about how another veteran comes out here every week and says it's going to be their year. He says that he didn't do that because a new star has arrived, and his name is Trick Williams. He noted how every country loves themselves some Trick Willie, as he boasted about his physical traits. He's 6'5", 250 pounds. This ain't 2006. This is 2026. Let's talk about it. Orton responded by talking about how he is 6'5", 270 pounds, has 5 kids, a smoking hot wife, but that the only number that matters is 14, which is the number of world titles that he's won. Orton expressed confusion on why Trick Williams came out to interrupt him, of all people, questioning Trick Williams and his intelligence. I don't know what they're teaching you down in NXT, but did they not teach you to never interrupt Randy Orton? Williams says he was the only one to seize the opportunity to brush up against greatness, and that he was here to put Randy Orton on notice, as he was the Viper no longer. Williams posed as Orton warned him not to turn his back on him again, because if it happened, he wasn't going to whoop that trick. He was going to kick that ass. Williams belligerently slapped Orton's microphone away. And this was funny because Trick Williams hit the microphone so hard out of Randy Orton's hand that it looked like, from where we were positioned with the camera, it looked like and it sounded like the microphone flew right into the front row of the audience and maybe or maybe not didn't hit somebody. I don't know what happened there. But Trick Williams had this look on his face that basically signaled, oh, fuck. Maybe I don't know and realize my own strength. Randy Orton played it up and he hit the microphone, did Trick so hard that Randy Orton did one of these Christian looking at the peeps type of poses. Where did it go? Meaning that it landed where it should not have landed. So, at this point, they get into a little mini brawl here. So Orton hit Williams with a signature draping DDT. He looked like he was going to hit him with an RKO until all of a sudden the Miz showed up and attacked Randy Orton from behind. As Miz tried to go for a skull-crushing finale on Randy Orton, that got reversed into an RKO instead, and that popped the crowd. Orton looked down on Williams, who was left stunned, and he had some harsh words for him before he left. As Randy Orton started to leave the ringside area, Rey Fenix music played. And this was the opening match for Friday Night SmackDown. It was Rey Fenix versus Trick Williams, which was made last week after a confrontation backstage right in front of Nick Aldis. But Randy Orton showed respect to Fenix with a fist bump before he walked to the back and encouraged Fenix to kick Williams' ass. Rey Fenix got little to no reaction from Berlin, Germany, which is quite sad. I don't know what WWE is waiting for, but the longer that they wait to pair Rey Fenix and Penta up together, the worse it's going to be for both of them. You got Penta, who's on Monday Night Raw, working alongside Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against The Vision, which is much better than what Rey Fenix is doing. Well, Rey Fenix is on SmackDown, and he's being used as job status for the much younger Trick Williams. Their trajectories in WWE do not match. Their positions in WWE do not match. What exactly are we doing with Rey Fenix, and why are we wasting Rey Fenix? He feels insignificant. He feels like a loser. I don't know why you signed Rey Fenix for him to be a loser on Friday Night SmackDown. Hopefully WWE knows what they're doing going into WrestleMania, and hopefully WWE has some solid plans for both Penta and Rey Fenix. I don't know why they're not back together. They have both guys teaming with everybody except teaming them together. And they're legitimate blood brothers. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So Trick Williams wrestled Rey Fenix in the opening match. This is Trick Williams' in-ring debut on Friday Night SmackDown. Williams shoved Fenix to the rope. He was talking some shit early on. Williams slammed Fenix's head to the mat, and Fenix was too quick, too athletic. Fenix avoided a big spin kick by Trick Willie, but got shoulder blocked down to the mat. Williams then starts to chop at Fenix. Irish whip followed. Fenix dodged between the ropes. Starts using his speed to his advantage. Springboard missile dropkick sent Williams outside the ring. Fenix does a fake out on Williams with a diving feint kick, but he got absolutely knocked silly with a leg lariat from Trick Williams. Williams planted Fenix with a Michinoku driver for a near fall, and then he threw Fenix outside the ring. So we're now at ringside. Williams sent Fenix into both steel steps, and we go into the first commercial break of SmackDown. Match comes back from the break. Williams hit Fenix with a pop-up uppercut for a near fall. Williams trying to keep this offense going as he's using his size and his power to get Fenix up. Fenix got out of a sticky situation here as he put Williams on the top rope, looking for a high-risk move. A little bit of a struggle back and forth. Fenix connected on a top rope Hurricane Rana on Trick Williams, who managed to kick out at a 2 after a cover. Williams laid out in the middle of the ring. Fenix launched himself off the top rope. Williams put his knees up to block the attack off the top as he hit a spinning pump kick on Fenix. Trick Willie then hit an impressive modified bookend for another near fall. Williams on the offense still, he missed a running splash as Fenix fought back and connected with a reverse spinning DDT from the top rope. Fenix then kicked Williams in the back of the head, and he hit the adios amigo kick. From the vantage point that we got live, it looked like he kind of missed it, but it happened so quickly that I couldn't decipher if it was a miss or not. I don't know. So, adios amigo. Williams caught Fenix on the dive and won with a pinning attempt where he got a handful of tights for the 1, 2, 3. So Trick Williams won his debut match, beat Rey Fenix, who name value alone is a big enough star to a point where it's impressive that's your first win. So SmackDown debut for Trick Williams in ring. Good showing. I think Trick Williams, I've said this once, and I'm probably going to end up saying it a few more times. He's got the makings of a legit superstar. He looks the part. He sounds the part. He's got everything that you want as a top guy for the future. The in-ring work, to me, still needs a little work. There's just something about his in-ring work that I don't fully invest myself in. Don't know what it is exactly, but I just get a sense that he could use a little bit more seasoning. Whether it's the way he moves around in the ring, the way he bumps, some hesitation here and there on some of his offense. I think what he does is okay, and he's obviously a lot better than he was a year or 2 years ago. But I don't think he's fully there yet to be a top guy. If I was to put it in perspective of the other guys on the roster that are his age and, or about the same. We're looking at a Braun Breaker, and we're looking at an Alba Fyre, and we're looking at a Javon Evans. I feel like Trick Williams is behind all three of those guys. If you're looking from a genuine in-ring aspect, I think you're probably looking at Braun Breaker being number one. I would probably say Alba Fyre being number two. Javon Evans right there, probably tied with Alba Fyre. I think Trick Williams, out of all three of those guys, is probably on the bottom portion of that list. Now, that's just my opinion. You guys may think otherwise. But he's obviously got the most potential. Him and Alba have the most potential out of all four of them. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch his trajectory and see how he acclimates himself to the main roster. But there's just something off about him. I don't know what it is. He's getting there. He needs maybe another year. This is why I would not even think about rushing him to the top of the card. I mean, they'll probably put him in that mix, like I mentioned before. They'll probably put him in that mix for that fatal four-way Rumble opportunity just to get him in there with some big names like Damian Priest and Randy Orton and Sami Zayn, just to get him to work. But I don't see him needing to be there. I don't. Gunther went through the rigorous task of building the Intercontinental Championship up for 600-plus days. We don't need Trick Williams bypassing a middle-card title to go right for the World Championship. I mean, there are ladders to this. There are steps to this. So I think getting him acclimated for a nice solid year in the mid-card, maybe holding a United States title or two, I think that's the way to go. And maybe next year, when we come back to this same time next year, maybe he'll be a lot better. But I honestly think out of all four, he's probably the least progressed as compared to Braun Breaker, Alba Fyre, and Javon Evans. Byron Saxton was with Giulia and Kiana James and asked them about the women's United States title victory over Chelsea Green last week. Giulia said that the title was back where it belongs and that tonight Alexa Bliss will be made an example of when they face off one-on-one. Nothing more to say there? Giulia's got decent English. Now let's get her away from Kiana James. We got a recap of the ambulance match last week between Damian Priest and Aleister Black. After that recap, Priest was interviewed about the match. Priest said that he was hurting because Black put a beating on him, but ultimately he won the war. What's next for Damian Priest? Well, he was going to call his shot for the WWE title, as it might lead him to a path right to a man that he respects greatly, Cody Rhodes. At that moment, Drew McIntyre interrupted. Priest reminded McIntyre of the last time when they faced off, when his brains got scrambled. If you guys remember, they wrestled at WrestleMania, and they ended their feud inside a steel cage match on Saturday night's main event. That's where Jesse Ventura went off on the steel cage rules on Saturday night's main event, and we haven't seen him back on commentary since. As Priest left, McIntyre was asked about the 3 stages of hell as he reveals that he had Cody Rhodes' beautiful gold Rolex watch. Same watch that his daddy owned. He reiterated his vow to win the title by taking advantage of Rhodes and his anger towards him. Alexa Bliss was seen chatting with Charlotte Flair backstage when Nia Jax and Lash Legend, who tried to antagonize her, Bliss said that Jax was maybe projecting her own insecurities about her own trust towards her and Charlotte. Bliss then warned Lash Legend that Jax might not be what she seems, speaking as someone who was once in the same position that you find yourself in now, standing next to and teaming with Nia Jax. United States Championship, Giulia defending the championship she just won last week from Chelsea Green. Kiana James in her corner against Alexa Bliss. What did Alexa Bliss do to earn this United States Championship opportunity? I don't know. Maybe you guys have a better answer than I do. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know exactly what the fuck's going on there. Quite honestly. How she got a championship opportunity? I don't know. No idea. So Giulia, I hope to God there's a plan for her in 2026. We got last week where she won the championship. I guess that is them maybe trying again because they do see some value and some potential in Giulia. And then this week she's wrestling one of the biggest baby faces on the active women's roster, in Alexa Bliss, someone that everybody respects. So I guess 2 weeks into 2026, they're at least trying with Giulia. Whether or not it goes anywhere, I have no fucking clue. So we'll pick it up here. We go into a commercial break, but before the break, looked like Giulia was in control until Alexa Bliss dodged an attack, which caused her to fly out of the ring. And then Alexa connected on a dive from the apron, rolling senton, or rolling cannonball. And we go into a commercial break. The match comes back from the break. Giulia kicked out of a pin attempt from Bliss. Champion got the advantage once more as Kiana James got involved thanks to Giulia's distraction of the referee providing an opening for her to attack Bliss. An elbow from Bliss allowed her to start a little bit of a comeback. She then followed up with some strikes and drop kicking Giulia right down to the mat. Bliss hit her modified version of Charlotte's natural selection, and Giulia kicked out at a 2. Don't really get why Alexa's using one of Charlotte's moves that she sometimes uses to finish people off, but she doesn't really do it as well as Charlotte does, and then it's not as effective, and then the opponent kicks out of it. Never understood that. Like, if you're going to use someone's move or someone's sometimes finishing move, maybe you should save it for when it actually is going to be effective. Giulia hit Bliss with a arrivederci knee. She couldn't capitalize on this because she went for the Northern Lights driver and Bliss counted it. Bliss had Giulia in position for Sister Abigail, which looks ridiculous. Has anybody else noticed this? Like, I get it's a show. I get it's a soap opera. And they got to play up to the camera. But Alexa Bliss gets you in Sister Abigail. And she's got the opponent or her opponent in position. And she's just sitting there. It's one of those moves that isn't terribly difficult to get out of. There's no real grip. You know, the opponent has an easy opening to slip out or get out. And Alexa gets this person in position, whoever it may be on any given night. On tonight, she gets Giulia, and she looks right into the camera, and she stares at the fucking camera, posing in the Sister Abigail pose for at least 5 seconds. Get the move done and get it over with. Like, if you actually get your opponent in position and then immediately nail the fucking move, you might give yourself an opportunity to win the match, and in this case, win the championship. It looks ridiculous. So she went for Sister Abigail. Kiana James got on the apron to cause another distraction. Bliss gave James a punch. With the referee distracted by Kiana, Bliss heads up top. And it looked like she had one move in mind, which was Twisted Bliss. But all of a sudden, Lash Legend pushed her down from the top rope. Because Lash, I guess, took offense to what Alexa said to her earlier in the show, saying that Nia is going to use you, abuse you, and dump you. So she took offense to this. She pushed Alexa Bliss down off the top rope. This allowed Giulia to connect with the very delayed Northern Lights bomb for a 1-2-3, and Giulia retains the United States Championship. So she beat Chelsea last week. She beat Alexa Bliss this week. Not clean. Is WWE turning a corner with Giulia? Are they focusing on rebuilding Giulia back up to where she was when she was in NXT? That would mean something if the crowd was actually buying into what Giulia was selling. The crowd couldn't be bothered to give a shit. Imagine going overseas internationally with you being an international superstar, and the crowd still doesn't give a shit about Giulia. I genuinely wonder. This is just me speaking out loud. I genuinely wonder if WWE is really trying to resuscitate Giulia because they know that they have a potential great female in that division in Giulia. I genuinely wonder if they're doing it because they want to, genuinely. Or are they just doing it because, I don't know if you guys know, there was a rumor going around, and I think someone confirmed it, that WWE is holding a PLE in Italy this year. It may be sometime after WrestleMania. So if WWE is holding a PLE in Italy, with Giulia being half Italian, you would think that WWE should feature her on that show in some prominent way. Are they rebuilding Giulia up because they know they have a pay-per-view or PLE in Italy later this year? Or are they doing it because they genuinely find that she is going to be a top-tier talent in this division for years and years to come? Everything's got a narrative. They never go and do anything without a reason, whatever that reason may be, good, bad, or ugly. I don't know. I still say they should have moved Giulia to Monday Night Raw and paired her up with the Kabuki Warriors. But what the fuck do I know? What do I know? She beats Alexa Bliss 1-2-3. She retains the Women's United States Championship thanks to Lash Legend. Post-match, Nia Jax and Lash Legend attacked Alexa Bliss, with Nia delivering one of the absolute worst moves in the history of the fucking business, and that is the Annihilator. This move may be worse than all of the Miz's offense combined. Like, we need to eliminate this move. We need to get rid of it. The Annihilator is one of the most awful moves in all of the years I've ever watched pro wrestling. One of the worst moves I've ever seen anyone deliver ever. It is so fucking ineffective. It is so weak. It is so awful. It just exposes the business for being fucking just a carny business. Nothing about it speaks finishing move. Nothing about it speaks devastating. Nothing about it should ever beat anybody, ever. It's awful. It's fucking awful. Some terrible finishing moves right now, man. Bayley's Rose Plant is awful. Nia Jax's Annihilator is awful. Sister Abigail, the way Alexa Bliss sets it up, is awful. The Miz's offense is awful. Ridiculous. Nick Aldis was meeting with Jordynne Grace backstage, who was officially welcomed to the Friday Night SmackDown roster when Chelsea Green and Alba Fyre interrupted. Green complained about not getting her rematch for the United States Championship. Bro, we're so beyond that. Like, can we move the fuck on, please? Grace talked about how she wasn't going to be another diva like Chelsea Green. Alba Fyre then walked up and said that Jordynne Grace was disrespecting Chelsea Green. So Nick Aldis said, I have an idea. Let's book Alba Fyre versus Jordynne Grace tonight for Jordynne Grace's in-ring debut on Friday Night SmackDown. Before he could leave the scene, Kit Wilson interrupted and talked about how Matt Cardona was the embodiment of toxic masculinity. I don't know what the fuck Kit Wilson was wearing, but he was definitely dressed in women's clothing. He looked like an old lady with some wool sweater on with some pearl accents. Like, bro, what are you wearing? We can talk about the toxic masculinity, and that could be the centerpiece of your gimmick, but you got to wear women's clothing. You got to wear legitimate women's clothing while you speak about toxic masculinity, please. Please. There are limits. There are limits to this, please. You don't need to go out there and look like a fucking complete doofus. Seriously. No, boy. No. Aldis told Wilson, hold that thought. As he entered his office and slammed the door shut, Wilson then declared Aldis, you're a toxic masculinity. I was going to say toxic positivity. There are content creators in the IWC that spew toxic positivity because they're afraid to be negative. I find that quite humorous. No, but he declared Nick Aldis, just like Matt Cardona, toxic masculinity. Speaking of Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona, Chelsea's husband, he was interviewed about how he felt being back in WWE. Cardona says, it's been 6 years. Took me 6 years to get back home. Talked about how he had 3 options. 1, be negative and bitter. 2, coast off the Zack Ryder name for the rest of his career and just be complacent. Or 3, reinvent himself and bust his ass. This is something that he's basically said for a while. So he's just reiterating what he's kind of put out there in the universe. And this is the type of advice he's given others who have been in his shoes, working for WWE, getting released or not being brought back, and then going out and working the indies. This is his advice to everybody. So this is nothing new from him. It's great advice. Cardona, before he can continue, he saw Cody Rhodes walk in and he gave Cody a hug. Matt reminded Rhodes that he wasn't just back for no reason. He was staking claim to the WWE Championship. I came back to win that. And he points to the WWE title. Cody Rhodes says that once he's done with Drew McIntyre, come talk to me. So he's up for the fight. And he considered giving Cardona a shot if he got past Drew McIntyre tonight in 3 Stages of Hell. I like that there are talent on this show that are vying for and making their direction known. Everybody should want the WWE Championship. Everybody. And I'm glad that people are making that a purpose. I really do. 8-man tag team match. MFT, Solo Sikoa, Tamatonga, Tola Tonga, and Tonga Loa against the Wyatt Sicks, Uncle Howdy, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, and Eric Rowan. Am I the only one that didn't give a single shit about this? This is one of those matches that it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. Like, if you missed this match, if you opted to get up from wherever you were watching this show to go do something else and you came back and the match was over, you legitimately missed nothing. You legitimately missed nothing. I just can't wait for this feud to be over with, man. The problem with this is there's no reason to connect. as a viewer to the talent. There's no reason to connect with the Wyatt Sicks. There's no reason to connect with anybody in the MFTs outside Solo Sikoa, who's got equity built up with the audience because he was in the bloodline with Roman Reigns and he was the right-hand man for Roman Reigns for many, many months. And he was with his brothers. He was a part of the bloodline. He was part of the biggest story in WWE history. There's no reason to emotionally connect. There's no reason to care about anybody in this ring because who are they? Why do we care about anybody else in the Wyatt Sicks outside Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, because he's brothers with Bray Wyatt? We don't care about anybody else because you have not given me a reason to care about anybody else. Who's Joe Gacy? Who is this version of Dexter Lumis? Why is Nikki Cross there? What is her intent? Eric Rowan. All we know about Eric Rowan is that he had ties with Bray and that he was a part of the original Wyatt family with him and Luke Harper. Other than that, why is Eric Rowan there? Eric Rowan's there because of sentimental reasons. Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. He's Bray's brother. Everybody else still struggling to find a reason to care. Then you go to the MFTs. Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. Can you explain to me why they are donning the face paint? Can you tell me why I should care about these guys? Tola Tonga. Why do I care about him? Outside that he's 7 foot tall and he's got a size 21 boot. Why do I care? Why do I care about Jeff Cobb, JC Mateo? Why do I care about him? Who is he? Why do I care about any of these guys? Tonga Loa. Why do I care? You've given me no solid reason, not only not to care, but no interest. They are just guys that are on the show, that are placed on the show to eat up a nice 10 to 15 minute segment, and nobody gives a shit. We'll pick it up after the break. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. They were on the outside, taken out by suicide dives by Lumis and Gacy. We come back from the commercial. Solo Sikoa is stomping on Joe Gacy in the corner and then hits him with a running hip attack. Tama Tonga was tagged in. He continued the attack on Joe Gacy, who tried to tag in Rowan. Tama Tonga, he was in a tug of war in the corner. Joe Gacy escaped Tama Tonga and hit his handspring clothesline on Tama, creating some separation, which allowed Rowan to enter the match, and he cleaned house on the MFTs. So after all the MFTs got taken out, Tola Tonga tagged in, and we got the big, meaty men, pause, in the match. Eric Rowan and Tola Tonga now in the ring. Tola knocked Rowan down to his knee. He then got nailed by a clothesline from Eric Rowan. Tola managed to escape an attempted slam from Rowan and knocked him down instead. He then chokeslammed Dexter Lumis, who tried to interfere here, as Tola Tonga and Eric Rowan got each other with a double down clothesline, so both guys were laying on their back. So both guys are struggling to get to their respective corners. Uncle Howdy and Solo Sikoa, they got their tags, and we got two leaders now here, and Uncle Howdy and Solo Sikoa going at it now as the legal men. Solo and Howdy, they start punching at each other in the middle of the ring. Howdy and Solo gave each other some big shots, and Uncle Howdy avoided a Samoan spike from Solo and responded with a Uranage on Solo. Uncle Howdy targeted Solo for Sister Abigail, but he couldn't connect. Tama Tonga entered the match and got hit with a Uranage instead by Uncle Howdy. JC Mateo then found himself thrown into the match. He wasn't even a part of the match, but he found himself in there. Howdy locked the mandible claw on JC Mateo when Solo Sikoa, he is there in the ring, and he all of a sudden rolls out and grabs the Wyatt lantern. So he's got the lantern in his possession. This distracted Uncle Howdy and was taken out, was Howdy, by a big Tola Tonga boot. followed by I guess, his version of the hidden blade. He calls it the cutthroat from Tama Tonga for the 1, 2, 3. Uncle Howdy got pinned by Tama Tonga and his hidden blade. Again, I just find myself caring about both of these factions. There's nothing relatable about them at all, and there's barely any story. They want you to care, but they're not giving you a reason to care. Oh, look, the MFTs and the Wyatts, they're two of the biggest factions on Friday night. Let's put them in a feud together for territory over SmackDown. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need more than that to find myself interested in this. I'm assuming the MFTs and the Wyatt Sicks are going to wrestle eventually for the Tag Team Championships, probably at Saturday night's main event, because God forbid they put that on a PLE. I could see the MFTs winning the tag team titles, and then what? And then what? The Miz. He confronted Carmelo Hayes and bragged about how he would become a Grand Slam champion once again after he wins the WWE Championship, after he beats Randy Orton. They got to get through Randy Orton to go to the Fatal 4-Way and then get the title shot at the Royal Rumble. Hayes was talking about him going to the ring and conducting another U.S. title open challenge, and he told him to watch out for Randy Orton. Apparently, he made mention that his neck is bothering him. He can't turn his neck to the left. So Carmelo said, "Oh, look, it's Randy Orton," and Miz turned his neck to the left, and he was caught in a lie by Carmelo Hayes. Like, bro, if you want a match and you're not ready this week, just fucking say it. I'll give you a match. Why do you gotta lie to me? So Miz left. Ilya Dragunov met with Hayes. Very chummy, very friendly. Melo wanted to give him another match for the United States Championship. Dragunov says, "I'd like that, but there's a time and a place to meet again. But I was on my way to meet Nick Aldis and talk to him about something different." Now, whatever that meant, I don't know. Now we know what it meant, but when he said it, we didn't really know. I thought maybe he'd be moving over to Monday Night Raw. I don't know. But Dragunov went to go talk to Nick Aldis, and obviously we now know that Dragunov is a part of this little mini tournament to crown a number one contender for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. We got another Obafemi tease who's coming to what WrestleVotes believes. Shout out to WrestleVotes. What WrestleVotes believes is Raw. So Obafemi, according to them, is going to end up on Monday Night Raw. We'll see what happens. Obafemi and Gunther on the same brand? Obafemi and Braun Breaker on the same brand. Pretty interesting. Alba Fyre. She went one-on-one with Jordynne Grace. Can I just say this now? Jordynne Grace has some of the worst theme music in all of pro wrestling. Can someone please tell me what the fuck that is? Like, what is that? I swear to God, man, it genuinely sounds like you lifted some absolute generic garbage from some bullshit site off the internet and deemed it, this is Jordynne Grace's theme song. There's legitimately not one catchy note in the fucking song. There's nothing distinctive about the music. You can't even tell if it's Jordynne Grace or some fucking jobber from NXT. Nothing about that speaks to me as Jordynne Grace. Nothing. Nothing. She's got some of the worst fucking music in WWE. They should be absolutely she should be ashamed that they saddled her with that type of music. I'd go right to somebody, whoever it may be, and say, man, listen, like, I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to get involved, but man, that music's got to go. That music has got to go. Just go buy her old TNA theme and just give her her TNA theme. But they don't want to do that because they had the siren playing during her TNA theme, and they don't want two sirens playing because Braun Breaker has sirens playing when he comes on out. because he's a Steiner. They're on two different shows. What difference does it fucking make? It's awful fucking music. This was definitely just a showcase match to show what Jordynne Grace can do in the ring. And I think we all are pretty comfortable with what Jordynne Grace does in the ring. We are all very aware of what Jordynne Grace can do and will do in the ring. My problem is this company has a depleted women's division on Friday night. And you have someone like Alba Fyre, who is one of the longest reigning, if not, correct me, chat, the longest reigning NXT UK champion when it was around. It's dead now. The longest reigning women's UK champion in company history. Someone who is an accomplished wrestler like Alba Fyre. Someone who had a decent run in NXT down in Orlando. You got her wearing this ridiculous getup, wrestling in this black Secret Service suit because she's a part of the Secret Hervis, which is fucking awful. It's so cringy. It doesn't work anymore. It's not funny. Some of the worst aspects of their show on Friday. You got an accomplished women's wrestler like that, hidden away, being used as job fodder for the more established women on the roster. Or in this case, someone like Jordynne Grace. What are we doing? In the midst of a depleted division, why don't you start making the appropriate changes to fix said depleted division? I don't understand it. This match did nothing. It was a showcase for Jordynne, and nobody gave a shit. Grace went on the attack right away. Some hard strikes, fierce lariats, power slam by Grace. Alba tried to fight back, hit her signature DDT. She then tried for a suplex, but Grace used her strength to block it. Grace dodged Fire in the corner and hit a spine buster, followed by a package powerbomb. Chelsea Green then got on the apron in one of the most telegraphed spots that you'll see all year. She got on the apron to yell at Grace, but got knocked down as Fire was thrown from Jordynne into Chelsea to knock her from the apron. Jordynne then ended things with a torture rack bomb, which she calls Beast Mode, to pick up the 1, 2, 3. Not Brie Mode, Beast Mode. 1, 2, 3. Jordynne Grace left the ring. All of a sudden, Jade Cargill comes on out. Microphone in hand. Grace is standing there smiling. Cargill said that, Grace, you think you can show up on my show? You think you did something good in there? Nothing you did in there was special. This is my show because I'm that bitch. You know,
Hey, 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 hey. Shut up, bitches.
Jade Cargill is no Okada. Jade's got the easiest job in the world. She shows up and she does nothing. How many weeks we going to get Jade cutting the same promo? How many weeks we going to get with Jade not defending her title? Man, oh man, they're waiting for Bianca to come back to really give this woman something to do. When all is said and done, Jade Cargill will have the worst title reign in the history of that championship. She's done absolutely nothing with that women's championship. Nothing. At this point, she's just collecting a paycheck. At least from what we see on television. Sami Zayn was interviewed by Byron Saxton about who he thought would win tonight between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Zayn said that part of him wanted McIntyre to win because he's the guy he hasn't beaten yet. There's your clue. There's your clue. He also believes in his friend Cody Rhodes. At the end of the day, however, Zayn says that he was waiting for whoever won tonight. Can't bet against Cody Rhodes, he said. Backstage, Nathan Frazier was confronted by Axiom, who suddenly attacked him. Was it Axiom? Did Axiom attack his partner? No, it turned out Axiom was Johnny Gargano in disguise who fled when the real Axiom showed up and ran after him. Here, because Johnny Gargano stole Axiom's mask weeks ago, and Axiom wants his mask back, and apparently they are going to wrestle for the mask, but this is what they got Johnny Gargano doing on Friday nights as his brother-in-arms, Tommaso Ciampa, walks out of the WWE. Fantastic. United States Open Challenge. Carmelo Hayes, Shinsuke Nakamura. This was actually, I don't want to say this was great, but this was really good. The thing with these open challenges is, as you start to see it, because this is what I try to warn you guys about, no matter how great Carmelo Hayes has been in recent weeks, we're getting the same people challenging for the title. There's really nothing new. He beat Dragunov for the title. Great. But now we're just going to get the same cast of characters. He beat Johnny Gargano last week, which was a great match. But we're going to get the same cast of characters. We're going to go from Johnny Gargano to here Nakamura. We'll probably get Axiom and Aleister Black. And it's going to end up being the same fucking matches. And I understand that they want to build. I understand that this is all to get Carmelo Hayes over through his in-ring ability. And he's starting to show a little bit more of that charisma and a little bit more of that attitude and that character, which is great because this is a long time coming now. But I'm sorry, man. I can't get excited about a Shinsuke Nakamura match. I can't. In 2026, I just cannot bring myself, no matter how great Carmelo is, this has nothing to do with Carmelo, nothing at all. I just can't bring myself to care about Shinsuke Nakamura in anything he does. This is why I was so vehement on the United States Open Challenge ending. But we did talk about this on TNT, and Solomos made a good point. The babyfaces keep the Open Challenge going. Carmelo Hayes is eventually going to drop that title to a heel. Hopefully. That's the direction. Hopefully that heel is Trick Williams. Hopefully that is a WrestleMania match. I do think that could be a potential WrestleMania match this year. And when a heel wins the title, and when it is Trick Williams, he will end the Open Challenge because heels should not be doing Open Challenges. So I like that. I guess for Carmelo, it's right, but, we got to go through the same cast of characters to answer these open challenges every week, and nothing's going to really change until someone like Trick Williams answers the call. But this was a fine match. Nakamura dominated most of this match. Hayes eventually caught Nakamura with a kick. He avoided it, charging Nakamura, leapt onto Nakamura at ringside. Nakamura avoided a frog splash off the top rope and then applied a knee bar. So the knee was being worked on by Nakamura here, and they really played it up as the story of this match because Hayes uses a lot of his speed and aerial offense to really get over with his opponent. So Hayes is selling the knee. Hayes reached the bottom rope to force a break on the knee bar. They battled back and forth for a couple of minutes. Hayes blocked a Kinshasa with a first 48 and then leapt off the top rope with the big leg drop to the back of Nakamura's neck. Nothing but net is what he calls that. And he eventually got the 1-2-3 on Shinsuke Nakamura. I thought this was fine for what it was. But like I said, and I'll say it again, I can't buy into anything Nakamura does whatsoever. I just can't. It's just more of the same with him, and I just find nothing that he does interesting. Cody Rhodes was interviewed about his final thoughts before the 3 stages of hell. He says that as far as Drew McIntyre is concerned, he saw that his dad's watch was stolen. And now he says that McIntyre's tactics are cheap and that it makes him it's him that makes the comeback. Tonight it'll be McIntyre who will be left looking at the lights, and after that it's Royal Rumble time. Rhodes says we knew what that meant. This was also the time in the show where Nick Aldis had a pre-tape vignette. He said next week in London we'll have 4 qualifying matches with the winner set to face off in a fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event in Montreal, with the winner of that match set to face the undisputed WWE Champion at the Royal Rumble. Saturday night's main event is in Montreal, so they're going to be overseas where they are now. They're in Germany, they're in London, right? And then Saudi Arabia is the Royal Rumble, right? So they're going to go from Berlin to London to Canada and then back to Saudi Arabia. It's quite the travel. So I don't really understand the logistics of that. I was thinking about that today. Well, I realized that we're in Montreal for Saturday night's main event, which would be a great crowd. But they're already overseas internationally, and it'll be a hop, skip, and a jump to Saudi Arabia. But then they got to go back, coming this way, going to Montreal and Toronto, only to go back to Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble. It's kind of counterproductive. I don't know. So Nick Aldis laid out 4 matches. Randy Orton versus The Miz. We all know Randy Orton's going to win that one. Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams. I see Trick Williams winning that one. Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa. I could see Damian Priest winning that one. And Sami Zayn versus Dragunov. I could see Sami getting his win back over Ilya Dragunov. Randy, Trick, Damian, and Sami. I'm going Sami. I'm going Sami and Drew for the WWE title at the Royal Rumble. That's what I'm going with. What we do with Cody, what Cody says, how he follows it up with Jacob Fatu. Again, going to be very interesting to see what they do next week on Friday Night SmackDown. But the time has come, chat. The time has come. 3 stages of hell for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. McIntyre laid out the stipulations here. Standard wrestling match, stage 1. Falls count anywhere match, stage 2. And a steel cage match. If it goes to stage 3, steel cage match will be the final stage. I thought this was excellent. For a TV main event where we got no commercials, I thought this was good stuff. This was very much pay-per-view quality. As soon as the bell rang to start the stage 1, regular pro wrestling match, Rhodes went after McIntyre right away and started battling with him. Strikes, clotheslined him out of the ring. Rhodes took McIntyre out with a suicide dive. McIntyre grabbed the steel chair and begged Cody Rhodes to use it because he wanted Cody and his anger problems to get the best of him and cause a DQ. Rhodes didn't take the bait, hit him with a big boot right to the face. We go back in the ring. Rhodes hit McIntyre with a big disaster kick, followed with the signature dusty elbows, and he gave him one big bionic elbow. Before he did that, he gave him a double finger. He gave the good old double bird to Drew McIntyre. So we're outside the ring again. McIntyre finally managed to stop Cody's offense. He threw him into the steel steps. We go back into the ring. McIntyre failed to connect on a back suplex. Cody flipped out of it, hits a super springboard cutter, a Cody cutter, for a near fall. McIntyre was stomped on by Rhodes, who was backed off by the referee. So McIntyre found himself thrown across the ring by a Cody Rhodes German suplex. McIntyre, all of a sudden now in the corner, ripped off the top turnbuckle, which caused the referee to check on the exposed turnbuckle. So he tried his best to put the turnbuckle pad back on in the middle of the match. While this was happening, McIntyre hit Cody Rhodes in the penis. Low blow. Claymore. 1, 2, 3. And Drew McIntyre wins stage 1. And goes up 1-0. Stage 2 is a false count anywhere match. McIntyre, after he wins with the Claymore in stage 1, pulls out the Slim Jim table, and he immediately powerbombed Cody Rhodes through it on the outside. So he went for the kill right away. Cody kicks out at a 2. So now we're on the entryway. Rhodes slammed McIntyre's head against the steel steps. He then threw him over the barricade, jumps off the barricade with a double axe handle smash, and the two now are fighting in the crowd because it's false count anywhere. Cody Rhodes starts biting Drew's head. He took a selfie with somebody in the audience with his opponent. Fight's heading into the backstage area now. McIntyre threw Rhodes into a wall, and then he got thrown into the garage doors. This reminded me of when The Rock beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes in the back during WrestleMania 40 season. Look at you now! Look at you now! Anytime I see a garage door in Cody Rhodes, I think of look at you now. He got thrown into a garage door. Rhodes then took, apparently there was a catering table or a mini catering table there, and Cody Rhodes, of all the things off the table, he took a banana and he stuffed it in Drew McIntyre's mouth. Pause. That's a mega pause right there. He stuffed the banana in his mouth and then punched him in the face repeatedly with the banana. I didn't know Cody had this thing with bananas and using them as weapons. I don't think I've ever seen a banana used in the manner in which Cody used this banana tonight. I love banana smoothies. I love banana nut muffins. I love banana lattes. I love banana bread beer. But to use a banana as a weapon, I've never seen that done before. Look at you now, Cody. Look at you now. McIntyre tried to get momentum back. He smashed Cody's head against the railings now as they're working their way back into the arena, right by the bleachers. He then took a table, and it looked like he was about to powerbomb Rhodes through it again. Cody escaped by climbing the guardrail to break free. Rhodes then threw McIntyre into the railing repeatedly and placed him back first on the table. So Cody had visions of violence here as he looked up and then starts to walk up the stairs to this balcony section. And he looks at McIntyre laying on the table down below. Cody took a big splash. It looked like a very safe big splash, but a big splash nonetheless off of this kind of mezzanine level, this upper section here. He jumped off, kind of wishing he was like Darby Allin, and he jumped off with a big splash. Splashes McIntyre through the table, down to the concrete. He kicks out at a 2. They eventually make their way back to the ringside area. McIntyre hit Rhodes in the ribs with a chair, all legal. Followed by a shot to the back, all legal. Rhodes avoided the Claymore kick against the table with a kick to the face as he then rearranged some furniture on the commentary table. Rhodes hit a beautiful crossroads on McIntyre through the commentary table and got the pin in stage 2. We are now tied 1-1. Crossroads through the announce table on McIntyre gets it done for Cody. And now we are headed towards the final stage, a steel cage. So the cage is lowered. Before the cage is completely lowered, Rhodes rolled McIntyre back into the ring. Once the cage was finally lowered, Rhodes stalked McIntyre, tossed him into the side of the cage. He was enjoying himself. This is what the steel cage was used for. McIntyre reversed, gave Rhodes a taste of his own medicine. He tried to scurry out through the door because if you go out the door with both feet hitting the floor, you do win the match. If you go over the top and escape the cage with both feet hitting the floor, you win the match and the title. So old school rules. That's what Drew McIntyre meant. It didn't mean blue steel cage like Bret Owen 94 SummerSlam. This was old school steel cage with old school rules. Most of the rules kind of get lost in translation with the steel cage match. It's usually just pin or submission, which is lame. I prefer the old school rules. You escape by going through the door or over the top rope. I think that's the way to do it. It works in different situations. the more grudge match it is, I guess you could go just have them encapsulated in the cage and just have them beat the shit out of each other. You can't win anyway but pin or submission. They have to remain in the cage. But this was an old school situation. You can't get any more old school than McIntyre and Rhodes. So that's what he wanted. So McIntyre reversed. He gave Cody a taste of his own medicine, throwing him into the cage. He tried to go out the door. Rhodes stopped that, hits a suplex to bring him back into the ring. McIntyre then tried to climb up with Cody Rhodes struggling to his feet. McIntyre got to the top. Rhodes, all of a sudden, he gets right back up, intercepted him to prevent McIntyre from escaping. McIntyre got ahead of it, hits a superplex from the top of the cage. He goes for a cover and only gets a 2 count. Rhodes somehow recovers. He starts punching away at Drew in the corner. He was then hit with a hard elbow from McIntyre. Rhodes again trying to mount a babyface comeback here. He got sent into the corner by Drew, who then dropped him with a future shock DDT. Thank God Cody didn't tear his pectoral muscle like CM Punk did when that happened to him. I always worry about that. Every time Drew does that move, I fear someone's going to get hurt. CM Punk taking that move and getting injured for 6-7 months, it really made me look at the future shock DDT in a different way. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but I look at it a little bit differently. So we got the future shock DDT, near fall, Cody kicks out. Cody's head was bleeding. So I guess it did have its effects on Cody. So McIntyre pounced on the attack with strikes. Rhodes comes back with a tilt-a-whirl roll-through reversal into a crossroads, which looked great. Somehow McIntyre kicked out after a crossroads at 2. So both men struggled to get to their feet as they then put up their fists and they start hitting each other in the face. Back and forth we go. Rhodes hit McIntyre with a snap power slam for a near fall, signature Cody. And he had McIntyre insights for a Cody cutter. Again, McIntyre kicked out at a 2, so Rhodes went again to the crossroads and the triple crossroads. So Cody hits 2. McIntyre rakes his eye to block the 3rd. Rhodes ran into an exposed turnbuckle, missed a clothesline. He then hits, McIntyre does a Claymore kick, and McIntyre only gets a 2.99 on the Claymore kick. Now, I knew it wasn't going to end there. As far as the rest of the match, after the Claymore kick, they get to their feet. McIntyre tried to climb out and escape. Rhodes met him, and the two now are sitting at the top of the cage, and they're hitting each other back and forth. Rhodes smashed McIntyre's face across the cage. He then climbs down. So does McIntyre, but Cody languishes on the top. He hits a super Cody cutter from the top rope, or the top of the cage, wherever he was hanging from. This Cody cutter did not look good in execution. McIntyre was just positioned the wrong way, so it didn't really hit as impactful as it should have. So he tried, but he got enough of it for a pinfall, and McIntyre kicks out. McIntyre and Rhodes tried to get back up. Cody got to his feet first. He thought about climbing up as McIntyre eventually made it and stopped Rhodes from climbing out over the top of the cage. So they're dueling again, trying to escape the cage. Both men fall groin first on the top rope. Double scrambled eggs with a side of sausage. Nobody really walked away the winner in this spot. McIntyre rolled towards the door. He crawled his way through it, found an opening. However, he was stopped by a hooded man. That hooded man was Jacob Fatu. McIntyre backed away. He looked like he saw the ghost of Christmas past. Fatu gets into the ring. He's being beaten on as McIntyre by Jacob Fatu. Rhodes comes over and tries to stop Jacob Fatu. Now, why would you do that? Leave the Samoan to handle his business. You don't need to get involved. Cody made the fatal mistake of trying to interject himself into Jacob Fatu's business. He got hit by Fatu, and now he is the focus of Jacob Fatu. As Cody and Fatu are now fighting, this left McIntyre to take advantage of the situation. He crawled out of the door, he hits the floor, bell rings, and he wins the WWE Championship. Rhodes looked absolutely heartbroken that he lost the title in this manner. McIntyre crawling away, clutching the title like he just got the ring back from fucking Mount Doom as he's Becky Lynch, and he went on to do his
My precious, my little horse.
he did one of those. He's clutching the title. Jacob Fatu looked like he was confused as all fuck. What did I just do? I came back to fuck this guy over, yet he's walking out of here with the WWE title. We saw the credits hit. McIntyre is in the stage holding the title. And he wins stage 3. He beats Cody 2-1. And he wins the undisputed WWE Championship. Again, I think this is a great decision, whether it's transitional, short, or not. Some of the dirt sheets, they're still claiming that Cody and Roman is still the play for WrestleMania. That would also that would mean Cody is eventually going to win the championship back. That's what that means. It's not going to happen at the Rumble, but it may happen at Saturday night's main event. It may happen at the Elimination Chamber. I have no idea. Drew McIntyre will be a transitional champion. But in this case, a transitional champion that fucking earned the WWE title. A transitional champion that's earned the right to be WWE champion. Deserves to be WWE champion. If the play is Cody and Roman, nobody wants to see Roman the champion and Cody walking into WrestleMania as the challenger. We've been there, done that. You can't do that because it would basically erase everything you did at 40. Nobody wants to see that. The story ended. They did it in the most epic way possible that they possibly could possibly have ever done. Why would you run it back again when none of it even matters anymore? It's over. Cody and Roman, if that's the play, Cody is the champion walking into Mania. He's the champion walking into WrestleMania 42. It doesn't work if Roman walks in. If the title's not on the line, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, what's the point of doing Cody and Roman just for a fucking grudge match? Does anybody care? Roman's been off TV since War Games. Why do we need him back? Why do we need him? Why do we need him and Cody? That's what we got teased at the end of War Games, if you guys remember, but why? What would be the reason? What is the story? If Roman and Cody wrestle at WrestleMania, what is the underlying story there? What is it? Is it one that you care about? Is it going to come remotely close to what they did at 39 and what they did at 40 and the story that went into 39 and the story that went in and came out of 40? Is it going to even come close? So if it's not going to fucking compare itself, if it's not going to measure up, why are we doing it? Why? Unless Cody is going heel. It's the only way it works. It is the only way it works. It works less if the title's not on the line. It works if Cody is the champion and he wrestles Roman. Or if they go into WrestleMania with Cody as the champion wrestling Roman and they're both baby faces. Cody The only way it makes sense is if Cody turns heel. And I understand using the term heel after what we got last year with John Cena, and we're coming up on 1 year since that debacle happened. John Cena worked 36 dates. We're somewhere in the vicinity of 30, 36, 37, 38 dates. Cody is there every fucking week. We've seen Cody back in WWE now for 4 years. Cody has the equity built up to make a heel turn matter. Cody has the equity built up with the fans to make a heel turn monumental. Cody has the talent to work with to make a heel work. Cody turning heel is the only way any of that works. Otherwise, you do non-title, it don't mean anything. They're just doing it to get a marquee match between two of their biggest names. And if they do it with the championship on the line, the only way it would work is if Cody walks in the champion and Roman walks in as the challenger. But something's got to be born from that. You got to have a reason for it to be happening like that. The only way it works is if Cody is a heel. Now, again, I don't want to say his name because we don't know how many times he's going to show up, if he's going to show up at all. But with the rumor of Rock and Saudi Arabia, they're going to offer him as much money as anybody's been offered to wrestle one match. It'll probably take him 3 Hollywood movies and many years of production to make the kind of money that he would be offered to wrestle one match in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania 43. It's going to be up to Dwayne if he wants to retire in Saudi Arabia or if he wants to hold on to have WrestleMania back in the States or somewhere that is appropriate for him to retire to wrestle Roman Reigns. I don't know what he's waiting for. Hollywood is going to put a halt on Rock retiring properly. We don't know what he's got coming up. We don't know when he's going to be available. We don't even know if he's going to show back up with the rumored political division between him and Triple H. But after last year and him not showing up, and after last year and the fucking absolute gaping hole that they left in John Cena's final year after he turned heel to embarrass the industry with Travis Scott and John Cena winning number 17 to not even show up and then go on Pat McAfee's show and lie to the fucking world about why he wasn't there and where he was and lie about everything, to leave that so open-ended, The Rock, out of every single person in that company, owes it to us to finish the fucking story. Cody finished his story, and The Rock was a part of that. The Rock needs to come back now and finish the story that he started with Cody and finish the story that he initially came back to finish with Roman. There's nobody that is going to convince me otherwise. The reason why The Rock is back and the reason why The Rock came back as the final boss was to fight Roman Reigns and put Roman over as the man of the family. That was the entire premise of the bloodline. He thought he could get away with it by using his power after Cody won the Royal Rumble. Hey, this is for my family. Let's do this. Give me your Rumble spot. I'm going to wrestle Roman. I'll see you later. Like, you can't change creative and then have the fans bow down to your every whim. You can't do that. Cody already won the Rumble. It looked fucking retarded for him to win the Rumble and, here you go, Rock, I won the Rumble, but please take my championship match. You can't do that. Now he's got a story that could be an all-timer. And why I keep mentioning it only works if Cody's heel. Cody eventually needs to become what Rock wanted him to originally become, heel. He needs to become Rock's champion. Cody mentioned in interviews, I don't know how long ago it was, we'll get back to the soul stuff. Are you? There's no better time than now. The cynic, the creative fantasy cynic in me wants this to lead to a Cody Rhodes heel turn. That's why he lost tonight. Do you know how boring it would be if Cody Rhodes lost the championship tonight only to then win it back and then go wrestle Roman Reigns and then nothing happens? Bro, stop trying to relive former glory. You've already done it. There's no reason to do this match again unless it's for something. There's no reason to do this match if it doesn't have a reason, a meaning. Fans are tired of these random matches, these dream matches happening with no fucking consequence. Nobody wants to see Cody and Roman 3 unless there's a fucking meaning to it. Nobody. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this is even on the card, rumored to be on the card, if there's not an underlining reason. So again, it all hinges on Cody. If WWE is going to have him wrestle at Saturday Night's Main Event against Drew, win the title back, go into the Rumble, what good would that do? Literally, Saturday Night's Main Event is happening the week before the Royal Rumble. If they do Cody and Drew to only then put the title back on Cody and Randy wins this fatal four-way at Saturday Night's Main Event, do you understand that you're getting another Randy and Cody match built out of nothing? The last time they wrestled was for the King of the Ring final. Do you want something like that again that's heatless? Do you want another Randy and Cody match, a second match in a year's time? Do you want another Randy and Cody match that has nothing built into it, nothing that went into it, nothing? All because Randy won a fucking fatal four-way. Yes, let's do Randy and Cody. Bro, that deserves so much more time, so much more effort, and so much more creativity. I am completely against doing this match at the Rumble. You're better off keeping the title on Drew and just having Sammy play that role with him winning the fucking fatal four-way and him wrestling Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble in Saudi where he's over. While Cody's in the Rumble, and Cody adds a lot more unpredictability to a fucking loaded field in the Royal Rumble. He throws that entire Royal Rumble up in the fucking air. Nobody knows who's going to win. It could be Cody. It could be Roman. It could be Braun Breaker. It could be fucking Gunther. It could be Alba Fyre. It could be Brock Lesnar. It could be anybody. Look at the talent that's in that Rumble. Cody winning the title back this month would be an absolute fucking mishap. It would be. Him being in the Rumble is the right choice. Sammy and Drew is the right choice. What we do at the Chamber, I don't know. It depends on who wins the Royal Rumble. Depends on if the Rumble winner is coming from Raw or SmackDown. We'll then figure out what the Rumble's going to be and what the Chamber is going to be then. But this Cody and Roman narrative, it doesn't work unless Cody is a heel. It doesn't work. The fans aren't going to buy into it because we're happening to get it for a third time. Nobody wants to see it for a third time unless there's a solid fucking meaning behind all of it. And right now, there is none. What is the reason? They don't like each other. What's the reason? Oh, you're the top guy. I'm the top guy. I want my belt back. Okay. Like, bro, you're COO or chief content, or what is he? The CCO, chief content officer. This guy is the same guy that went out there publicly and said, oh, we make movies. Bro, you're going to have to tell me there's some fucking grade A Academy Award winning story for why this is happening for a third time if you're going to make me fucking buy into this shit again. Again, this is all coming from me. This is my thoughts on it. This is how I feel the importance of WrestleMania should be this year. They got a lot of work to make up for what happened last year. Simply doing a Cody Roman match for the world title is not enough. Simply doing a Cody Roman match with no title on the line is not enough. It's not enough. There's got to be something there. There's got to be an underlining meaning for why they are wrestling. And Cody going heel is that way. That's the meaning. That's the reason. I thought SmackDown was largely dull. Crowd didn't help. Being international in Germany, I thought they would be a lot better off. But the main event was great, and we got a shock win from Drew McIntyre, who now finds himself to be the WWE Champion. There you go. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. If you guys did enjoy tonight's stream, I would really appreciate you guys hit that thumbs up. Can you do that for me? We got 715 likes. I'd love to see that at least get to 800. Can we get to 800 tonight? Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go and check out all the content on the channel. There's plenty of it. We were live on Monday. We were live on Tuesday for TNT 128 with the Solid Monster. Wednesday, I was live for Dynamite. We got a video out yesterday on Alba Fyre joining Monday Night Raw, and tonight we're live for SmackDown. Any other news that might be worthwhile for you, if there is any, I will see you guys in the subscription boxes on YouTube. Also, leave me a comment down below. Helps us out also when you do that. Tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew Gold. Fellas, tonight, history was made. We got the first ever 3 stages of hell match on Friday Night SmackDown. Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes on SmackDown to become the WWE Champion. And that right there is what happens when power, confidence, and timing all line up perfectly. And if you want that same championship energy when it's time for your main event, that's where Blue Chew Gold comes in. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand in the world. This is not feel-good stories. This is a 4-in-1 powerhouse that sets the gold standard for performance. Strong presence, real momentum, and a finish that actually lands, unlike Cody's title reign. Too soon? Sorry. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and can work in as little as 15 minutes. No long entrances, no overbook nonsense, just elevation without hesitation. Drew didn't need 3 crossroads. He needed 1. Jacob fought 2. Clean, decisive, championship level. This is peak passion and performance in a single tablet. This is for nights where you don't want to almost finish your story. You want to end it. Well, some companies out there, AEW, continue to book their shows in the most boring of fashions. You're delivering a dominant title change and a story that nobody will forget. Guys, this just isn't about performance. This is your legacy, or what I like to call your third leg. Pussy. Because when the bell rings, you want the crowd remembering how strong you closed, not wondering what went wrong. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got a special deal tonight. 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code JD. That's promo code JD. At BlueChew.com. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And I want to thank them, as always, for sponsoring the show right here on Off the Scripts. Appreciate it. Let's get into these super chats. I got to shout them out because somehow I missed it. YouTube has been really, really buggy lately, guys. Monetization's all fucked up. They don't know what they're doing over there. Best in the world, Beast King with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD, this is my first super chat. I just wanted to say I can't wait to listen to the new Alter Bridge album after the stream. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Hashtag OTS for life. Hashtag best in the world. Hashtag JDPS. I'll take a Jack and Coke. Ice fucking cold, says best in the world, Beast King. Absolutely love it, brother. Thank you so very much. That Alter Bridge album is an absolute remarkable testimony to how great the band is, man. Awesome. That's too little of a word. That's too insignificant of a word. Incredible is a better word to use. Magnificent. And trust me, man, I am quite the critic, as you guys know. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for the first time super chat, man. That really means a lot to me. Jay Gordo with a 10. Happy Friday, JD. Much love to you and everyone. JD, what do you think of the new Alter Bridge album? For me, I like it. Been listening all day at work. OTS for life. I love it, Gordo. Love it. Slave to master. Also with the $2 super chat, Jake Doyle is a stupid wrestler name. Oh, Doyle rules! Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. Good Friday, JDOTS. How's everyone? Let's go. Yeah! Thank you, Michael. Baltimore Jackson, the $4.99. So apparently Drew won. I forgot this was airing early, finally. I'm pleased to see this. It took WWE long enough to pull the trigger on this. Hardy Punk steel cage with 11 months. The Scottish psychopath waited for his redemption since Mania 40. The Chosen One will unleash hell. Welcome to the big leagues, Jacob Yarmin. Jay Gordo with a 5. SmackDown was a good show. So far, watching new faces debuting, new returns, and a WWE Champion. Let's see what will happen in the next 11 months. OTS for life. Bro, we got a long way to go. Long way to go. Caden with a $1.99. No message. Thank you, Caden. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Do you think they will have Cody win at the Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber? I do not think Drew McIntyre is walking into WrestleMania as the champion. I don't. I think Drew McIntyre will wrestle Jacob Fatu one-on-one. Luca with a 9 months. 9 months. Here's to what we can hope is a better 2026 for WWE and AEW. Doubt it. Andale, arriba! Praise be to El Ononico. El Ononico is a legend, bro. He's absolutely a legend. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. How about Roman, Drew, Cody, Punk at WrestleMania for the belts? No. No. Tribal Chief, hell yeah. Drew won. OTS for life, pal. Thank you, Tribal Chief. Chris, Nearfall Podcast, with 41 months. 4 months in this fine establishment. Cheers to you, JD and the OTS crew. Grab 2026 by the throat and make it give us everything. Sirius XM and OTS. I hope so, bro. I hope so. I'm getting my analytics together, man. I'm getting a press package together. We're doing it. We're going to try and see if we can make it happen. Boss Mo Jackson with the $4.99. I don't understand the booking and presentation of the Wyatt Sicks and the MFTs. I feel like they are positioned to fail. They could have done 1,000% better. One is never going to live up to the family name that the Bloodline was, and the other is just living off past glory of a deceased wrestler that everybody loves. It was never going to work. Johnny Boy Vaccaro with a $2 super chat. Sammy beats Drew to take his title. No. Now, Sammy's not winning the title this year. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen. Alex from Phoenix with a $4.99. You see what happens when WWE takes some sort of risk and doesn't play it safe? Excitement. I'm very happy with tonight's result. Best in the world, Beast King. Thank you again, brother. Johnny Boy Vaccaro with a $5 super chat. Avoid Cody in winning the Rumble and give him the Elimination Chamber for the win. Cody may be the WWE Champion by then. Boss Mo Jackson, the $4.99. WWE needs some edge. I'm glad we have call-ups, but we need not to put limits on their talent and presentation. Present them correctly. I'm tired of formulaic booking. Joseph Taylor, $5 super chat. JD, don't forget about possibly men and women from TNA entering the men and women's Royal Rumble match because of the partnership with WWE and TNA. Yeah. AJ's going to be on the Thursday Impact show next week on AMC. I may actually tune into that. I may actually do a review on it. Toya with a $2 super chat. Sammy and Drew at WrestleMania 42. No. Survivor with a 9 months. Thank you, Survivor. Jorge with a 2 months. Hey, JD, do you have any Alter Bridge recommendations similar to Before Tomorrow Comes and Open Your Eyes? Those two are my favorites. Much love, JD. Yes. Yes, I do. If you want to listen to the new album, you can go listen to Rue the Day. You can go listen to Trust in Me. You can go listen to Hang by a Thread. You can go listen to Playing Aces. You can go listen to What Are You Waiting For? If you want something else off some other album, you can go listen to Fortress, where you could listen to... actually, that's a bad album for songs like that. You could go listen to AB3 and listen to Ghost of Days Gone By. You can listen to All Hope Is Gone. You can listen to Show Me a Sign. I Know It Hurts. You can go listen to... let's see. Walk the Sky. What's on Walk the Sky that you'd like? You could probably go listen to Take the Crown. You can go listen to Pay No Mind. You can go listen to Forever Falling, which is a great song. You can go listen to Dying Light, which is a great song. There's a lot of songs. There's a lot of songs, Jorge. Anything off the new album is going to be right up your alley. Trust me. Adam JD 519. Trick fits the old Arn Anderson line. He needs to wrestle people better than him to get better in the ring. Has the talent, needs some seasoning. I agree. I like that. El Garave with the 499. Hey, JD, I wouldn't mind if WWE made a new women's SmackDown 6. Jordynne Grace, JC Jane, Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, Blake Monroe, and Julia. What do you think? Blake Monroe is not going to be called up this year. I think her getting a Women's World Championship run in NXT will probably benefit her better. Instead of calling her up on the main roster to do what? What would we do with her? JC Jane's still the NXT Women's Champion, so I don't think that's going to happen. Lola is rumored to get called up. And Sol Ruca is rumored to get called up. I like those two on SmackDown. Base Beers with it too. They just stopped stories abruptly. R-Truth, question mark. New Day, question mark. What story did R-Truth have, bro? And did anybody really care? Heel fan with a 199. I'm just here to hear JD say, whoop that trick. OTS. Base Beers with a $2 Super Chat. Ozzy performed on SmackDown in 07. Jade could be defending every week. Why not? Cody Cutter from the rafters. Also, he says, world title change on TV in 25 and now 26. Nice. I like a random title change. I do. Jade should not be defending every week, but I just wish that they had some sort of story for her instead of her coming out and saying, I'm that bitch every week. Furious Nation with a $4.99. What's up, JD? As I lose you here. They actually did it. Triple H and Ryan Ward did the right thing. Congrats to Drew McIntyre. And this doesn't hurt Cody at all. Not mad whatsoever. Thoughts on maybe Jacob Fatu winning the Rumble? Nah. Base Beers with a 2. He says, ice fucking cold. It wasn't cold in New York City today, man. It's still 50 degrees outside. Boss Mo Jackson with the 199 said, did Ciampa leave WWE and why? The rumor is he's on his way out, and nobody knows why. Does he want to rest and recuperate to then only come back? Does he want to go rest and recuperate and then maybe go work the Indies or maybe show up in TNA? I don't know. Ali with a 2. If Cody does turn heel, do we see a different look? Yes. The hair goes black. Tony Brown with a 5. JD, I can't bomb right now. So here's a sparkler, but you are the man. Thank you, Tony Brown. No matter what you do, Tony, you're always appreciated, brother. Corey Williams, 67-31 with a 41 months. I'm glad that Drew wins the WWE Championship because it creates a little bit of unpredictability going into WrestleMania 42. It does. I like it. Griffey Boy with a $1 super chat. No message. Thank you, Griffey Boy. Scorpio with a 5. It feels like a full circle with having CM Punk as the world champion and Drew McIntyre as the WWE champion. It does. It does. I wonder what Punk is actually thinking now. Base Beers with a 2. We're getting Sammy versus Mansoor at WrestleMania, aren't we? Yes. Yes, we are. That's the Mania match. He'd have to come off Ring of Honor first. Also with a 2, Punk versus Drew for the title versus title at Mania. You know what? I won't even mind that. And Lorgasmic with a 5. I like the idea of Sammy winning the Rumble, challenging Drew. Punk challenged by the winner of the Chamber, Cody or Braun or Roman or even LA Knight. LOL. Yeah, right. I don't think Sammy's winning the Rumble. I don't. I mean, listen, again, I could be wrong. I just think with WrestleMania next year, I think they may give him that opportunity. Dancing Toley with a 199. Any hope for LA Knight in 2026? Brother, I hope so. Reports say it may be LA Knight's year, but I'm still waiting on Finn Balor getting a major singles push towards a major championship, which was reported last year, earlier in the year. That never happened. Anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here. Look at that. More of the same on Monday, man. Monday Night Raw, 2 p.m. from Dusseldorf, Germany. I'll be live here around 9:30 on Monday as well. We'll figure out what's happening there. These international shows are a little crazy. But thank you guys very much for all your support. We'll be back with more news this weekend if there is any. If not, you'll see me live on Monday. Monday Night Raw from Dusseldorf, Germany. What's going to happen with CM Punk beating Braun Breaker on Monday Night Raw? We'll figure it out then. Thank you guys so very much for a great stream. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of Friday Night SmackDown tonight. Until then, guys, if you don't see me this weekend, I'll see you live back here in the OTS venue for Monday Night Raw right here on OTS. I'll see you guys later.